Pandit Nehru used to write regularly to his daughter Indira when he was away from her. He called her Priyadarshini. This lesson presents a letter which Nehru wrote as a birthday letter to his daughter. So, let us listen to the summary of this lesson. In 1930, India was still ruled by the British. Many of the Indian leaders were behind the bars. Pandit Nehru was in the Naini prison. He wrote a letter to Indira on her 13th birthday from the prison. Nehru opens his letter by telling Indira that on her birthday, she must be in the habit of receiving gifts and good wishes. But from the prison, he could not send her any material present. His present could be only of the mind and spirit, things which even the high walls of prison couldn't stop. Calling little Indira his sweetheart, Nehru tells her that he dislikes sermonizing and giving out good advice. He had always thought the best way to find out what was right and what was wrong, what should not be done and what should be done, was not by giving a sermon, but by talking and discussing. He wrote that sometimes such discussions give light to minor truth. Panditji then tells her that he had liked his talks with her. They had discussed many things, but the world was wide, and beyond this world there were other wonderful and mysterious worlds. She should not think that she is very intelligent and she has nothing to gain more. But now what could he do? A letter could hardly take place of a talk. At best, it was a one-sided affair. Panditji then tells his daughter to assume that his letter is a face-to-face conversation. The study of history says Nehru can be inspiring. History tells us how ordinary men and women can do heroic deeds. In history, writes Nehru, we read of great periods in the life of nations, of great men and women. He then recalls how Indira was fascinated when she first read the story of Jeanne d'Arc and how her ambition was to be something like her. Ordinary men and women, Nehru writes, are not usually heroic. They think of their bread and butter, of their children, of their household worries, and such other things. But a time comes when all these people become interested in a great cause. Then history makes heroes even out of these simple, ordinary men and women. Great leaders have something in them which inspires whole people and leads them to great deeds. In Indira, a great leader, full of love for all who suffer and eager to help them, has led the people to great actions and noble sacrifice. He has freed the starving, the poor, and the oppressed and made them happy. Nehru refers to Mahatma Gandhi as Bapuji and writes on, Bapuji was in prison, but the magic of his message has stolen the hearts of country's millions. Men and women and even small children had come out of their little shells and become country's fighters of freedom. Nehru goes on to write, the Indians were making history, and she and he is lucky to see it happening before their eyes and to be a part of the great drama themselves. Nehru now tells Indira about those qualities that will make her a brave soldier in India's freedom movement. He asks what part he and she would play in the freedom movement. If she has to be India's soldiers, he writes, she to respect India's honor. That honor was a sacred trust. It is not an easy matter to decide what is right and what is not. Nehru then asks Indira to apply one little test whenever she is in doubt. He tells her never to do anything in secret or anything that she would wish to hide. Because the desire to hide anything means that she is afraid, and fear is a bad thing and unworthy of her. Nehru asks Indira to be brave in all she would follow she must know. He writes further that in the great freedom movement under Bapuji's leadership there was no room for secrecy or hiding. They had nothing to hide. They were not afraid of what they did or what they said. They worked in the sun and in the light. Even so, in their private lives, they should make friends with the sun and work in the light and do nothing secretly. Further, he writes that if she did so, she would grow up as a child of the light, unafraid and serene and unruffled, whatever may happen. In the end, Nehru confesses that he has written a very long letter to her, and yet there was so much he would like to tell her. How a letter could contain it all, he asks. He then writes, "Goodbye, little one," and expresses hope that she would grow up into a brave soldier in the country's service. Nehru concludes the letter, signing it as her loving father. That's all, the summary of this lesson. Thank you for listening. Please subscribe to this channel to watch more videos like this.